just love the smell of fear.
The predator. But for good.
We love to pretend we want justice, but deep down, we're rooting for the villain. Not because they are evil, but because they are everything the hero is not. Unfiltered, unapologetic, and let's be honest, horror. Why do we really love villains? Why are we watching fan edits of them instead of the hero's speeches? Why are we quoting them, laughing with them, secretly wishing they win, even though we are not supposed to? Because villains are more than just bad guys. They are a reflection of us. The parts we hide, the feelings we suppress, the confidence we fake. And honestly, they're just more fun. In psychology, Carl Jung introduced the idea of the shadow. It's everything we suppress to function in a so-called civilized society. Jung writes in his essay, "The shadow is a moral problem that challenges the whole ego personality. To become conscious of it involves recognizing the dark aspects of the personality as present and real." Translation: the parts of you that want to scream at your boss, ghost your friends, or commit social war, that's your shadow. And when Scar sings "Be Prepared," or Daenerys finally loses it in Season 8, we are watching someone live out what we repress. It's thrilling and horrifying because it's familiar, not literally but emotionally. Side note, I do not consider Daenerys as a villain. I only mentioned her because she is the perfect example for a character that has her whole trauma and struggles built throughout the whole show, and suddenly she snaps. Also, I do not consider anything that's not in the books real, so basically half of the show. Because we all know the downfall of Game of Thrones. I feel like I need to make a whole video dedicated just for that, but yeah. Let's be brutally honest, heroes lie. Not necessarily in what they say, but in how they are written. They follow the moral script, the noble arc, the checklist of goodness. Therefore, viewers struggle to relate to these characters. Because no one is perfect. Everyone has flaws and grapples with dark or irrational thoughts. But what makes a good person in the real life is to not act on these thoughts. But villains, they just say the thing. When Walter White says,
"She did it for me." I liked it.
he's not being evil, he's just being honest. The kind of honesty most people will not admit out loud. In the psychopath test, John Ronson examines society's paradoxical relationship with individuals who lack empathy. He argues that while we fear their capacity to disregard social norms and harm others without remorse, we are also undeniably drawn to their audacity and freedom from guilt, traits that expose uncomfortable truths about human hypocrisy and self-interest. In this way, villains, whether real or fictional, show us what it looks like to abandon the performance of morality altogether. Their refusal to feign empathy or contrition is unsettling, yet undeniably seductive. It resonates with our fascination for unchecked freedom, exposing the hidden craving society deems unacceptable. Heroes do the right thing, villains do whatever they want, and somehow they still have better skin, better comebacks, and better closets. Take Jennifer from Jennifer's Body. She's a literal demon, but she's also funny, confident, magnetic, and she knows it. She eats boys, literally, but also metaphorically, and we love to see it. Or Catwoman. Very chaotic. Is she helping? Is she stealing? Does it even matter? She's making you question your entire moral compact with one smirk and one purr. Even Regina George, a high school sociopath, had people quoting her all the time.
Get in, loser, we're going shopping.
Iconic. Heroic? No. Unforgettable? Absolutely. Villains are expressive, sharp, stylish. Hero spends 2 hours learning life lessons, aka boring. Villains steal the scene in 5 minutes and leave with your attention and maybe your partner. Villains have always had an undeniable cool factor that often overshadows heroes, and a big part of that lore comes from their fashion and style. While heroes are typically clean cut and uniform, villains embrace bold, dramatic aesthetics that ooze confidence and mystery. They dress with flair, often leaning into dark, luxurious, and sleek designs that make them stand out. Think of Maleficent's gothic elegance with her high colors and dramatic silhouettes, or Loki's emerald green leather ensemble paired with gold accents. Even more grounded villains like the Joker mix chaos with style. His purple suits, green hair, and smeared makeup scream madness, but in a way that's unforgettable. Villains often reflect rebellion through fashion, using it to express their ideology, freedom from social rules, or emotional intensity. Whether it's Cruella de Vil's obsession with couture or even the chic minimalism of villains like Miranda Priestley, these characters command attention. Their fashion isn't just about looking good, it's a statement, and often it's that fearless self-expression that makes them so cool in the eyes of the audience. Villainous fashion weaponizes aesthetics to telegraph moral decay. Cruella de Vil's 101 Dalmatians, 1961.
My only true love, darling. I live for furs. I worship furs.
Designed by animator Mark Davis and Ken Anderson, parodized 1950s haute couture with her skeletal frame, blood-red lips, and monochrome fur coat. Her exaggerated cigarette holder and jagged silhouette, inspired by actress Tallulah Bankhead's glamour, symbolize aristocratic access clashing with suburban morality, framing her as predatory fashionista obsessed with material domination. For male villains, Jafar, Aladdin 1992, embodies sorcerous menace through costume. Animator Andreas Deja draped him in flowing crimson and black robes, a towering headpiece, and a serpent-headed staff, blending Middle Eastern sorcery tropes with a color scheme symbolizing greed and tyranny. Jafar's sharp angles and elongated design, contrasting Aladdin's rounded features, visually cement his role as a power-hungry manipulator. Both villains use fashion as armor. Cruella's fur coat makes her hungry and cruel, while Jafar's regalia screams authority without virtue. Deja designed other iconic villains like Scar, Gaston, just to name a few. Villains are the more fun to animate, he says. It's fine to have a villain who beats people up and is ruthless, but the more important thing for me is whether or not they are interesting. The villains who have full personalities are the ones you remember. Lately, media has developed a strange obsession. Every villain must now come with a childhood trauma starter pack. It's no longer enough for them to be bad. They have to be broken. But not every villain needs a redemption arc or a sub story, and sometimes it ruins the fun. I'll give you 2 examples where it works on one and doesn't on the other. Both Homelander from The Boys and Scar from The Lion King live action are presented as powerful menacing villains, but only one of their backstories actually enhances the narrative. We were introduced to Homelander as a fake Superman who hates humans but also puts a fake performance in front of them and craves their love and attention.
Homelander?
You boys okay?
And we always wondered why. Later on the show, we know that he was a lab experiment from some scientists. His origin as a lab-created experiment, deprived of love and raised as a product, deepens his character without excusing his actions. It shows how power without empathy creates monsters, reinforcing the show critics of hero worship and corporate control. Even at one point on the show, Season 4, Episode 4, he returns to the lab to face his trauma and take revenge.
You know why I used to call this the bad room?
We have no physical power over you. We never did. You could have broken out of here anytime you wanted. We couldn't have stopped you, but you didn't. Because you couldn't stand the idea that we would be disappointed in you.
His backstory makes sense to his character and to the show as a whole, and makes you question who's the actual villain. Is it Homelander or the scientist? It also reflects real-life situations and phenomenons that we see daily with our governments. We always ask the question, does the government actually cares about us? But in reality, we all know the answer to that. Scar, on the other hand, was originally terrifying because he was unapologetically bitter, cunning, and jealous in the 1994 version. Trait that did not need justifications.
I quiver with fear.
But in the live-action remake, giving him a sympathetic backstory, being the overlooked brother, the shadow of Mufasa, felt like an unnecessary rewrite. Disney screwed up one of the greatest villains of all time. Instead of making him richer, it diluted his role and even made Mufasa look bad in hindsight. Scar worked better when he was just evil by choice, not by circumstances. Jealousy and greed for power are enough reasons for his actions. His whole backstory on Mufasa the Lion King did the opposite of the feeling of the introduction that we had in the 1994 version. And I'm not talking only about Scar, I'm talking about Mufasa as well. After watching the live action, it made me think that Mufasa is low-key a villain because why did he get everything that's supposed to be Scar's in the first place, even the girl he likes? In Mufasa the Lion King, we got introduced to Kiros, the main villain. But he's forgettable. His goal isn't evil or personal. He just wants to take over a pride, which is exactly what lions do in real life. That's nature, not villainy. Unlike Scar, who was driven by envy and betrayal. Kiros lacks depth, flair, and impact that makes a villain memorable. Can we please just have villains that are just born evil? I don't want to understand the reason behind their evilness. I do not care. In conclusion, no, we don't love villains because they are evil. We love them because they are real, raw, and unfiltered. They wear the mask we all pretend we're too good for, but secretly wish we could try on. Comment your favorite villain and tell us what parts of them secretly speaks to you. No judgment, this is a safe space. Mine is Scar, the 1994 version. What's yours? And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.